Hey, what's up you guys, Jack here. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a box fight on Fortnite Creative. I already made a box fight tutorial, but that tutorial was actually made 5 months ago from this video. That tutorial is still a very good tutorial, but I'd like to make a updated version to help people who haven't gotten their box fights working or would like a alternative design to their box fight. After making that tutorial, I noticed that not everyone's a Fortnite Creative builder, and building maps on Fortnite Creative is kind of challenging for some people. So they find themselves having a lot of issues trying to copy that tutorial. So this video here would be as simple as possible to build a box fight. The box fight will still look really cool, but this tutorial will be as simple, as straightforward as possible. So the design of my box fight that I'll be showing you guys how to build will look something like this. You spawn, you have a timer, you got a barrier. Once the timer is up, the barrier opens, and then you can do your box fight. Alright you guys, so before we get started, be sure to leave a like on this video. I do spend a lot of time making these tutorials, and I hope that you guys like it. Also subscribe if you're interested in these type of videos, and use code JackjackHD in the item shop if you want to support me, you guys. Hashtag ad. Alright you guys, so from the very start, this is what you gotta do. First things first, go ahead and go to this console at your Rift. You're gonna create a whole new island. Should be on the top right side of the screen. Create new. After that, go ahead and choose your own style, choose your own island. I'm gonna go ahead and use Kevin Floating Island, and I'm gonna name it Boxfight. Alright, load into your island. If you decide to use the Kevin Floating Island like what I did, go ahead and delete all the islands that you see. Reason why I'm deleting everything is just so I have a clear island, and the only thing that will be on the island is the components that allow the box fight to work and the box fight. Alright, so now that all the islands have been deleted, all you see is water. Next, what I'm going to do is go into my island. Go ahead, click on the start button, then there will be option my island. This is actually where you see settings for your island. Click on that. Alright, so in the game tab, I'm going to be showing you guys all the settings you should be changing. Everything else, don't touch it if you don't know what you're doing. So first things first, I'm going to be changing a bunch of settings for the game mode. In the game tab, voice chat, I'm going to turn this to all so everyone can talk to each other. Teams, the box fight I'm going to be building is a free-for-all, so I'm going to keep that as free-for-all. If you want a team box fight of 2 teams, you could try that out, but I'll actually make a video on a team box fight in the future, so be sure to subscribe for that. But I'll stick with free-for-all. This will be a free-for-all box fight. If I scroll down, spawn limit, I'm going to turn this to 1. I'm going to have spawn limit to 1, so when you get eliminated, you spectate and you don't respawn. Next option, total rounds. I'm going to have this set to 100 so you can keep on playing. Next, time limit. I'm going to have time limit set to none. Next option, last standing ends game. I'm going to turn this on, so when the last person is alive, the game ends. Next option, just underneath it, join in progress. I'm gonna have this set to spawn on next round, so if anyone joins session, they will join the match after the round ends. Alright, so next, in the next tab, settings tab, in time of day, I'm going to be setting this to 4 p.m. Setting it to 4 p.m. just allows for daytime, because on default it's on a day and night cycle, and I want to be able to see things. Next option in the settings tab, starting shield, I'm going to turn this to 100%. Next option, infinite resources, I'm going to turn this off. Next option, building can destroy environment, turning this to no. Next option, environment damage, I'm going to turn this to off. If you have environment damage on all, your box fight will be able to get destroyed while you're doing your box fight, so you don't want that. Next option, glider redeploy, all up to you if you want it on. I'm going to have it on off. I find it's kind of annoying having glider redeploy on a box fight. Next option, health on granted on elimination, all up to you if you want health per elimination. I'm going to have it set to 50. That's it for the settings tab. Go to UI tab. Game score display time, I'm going to set this down to 5 seconds. Round score display time, I'm going to set this down to 5 seconds as well. Next options, scoreboard tiebreaker 1 to 4. This is how you set up your scoreboard and what you want to be shown in the scoreboard. Scoreboard tiebreaker, this is how I'm going to set it up. You can set it up however you like. Scoreboard tiebreaker 1 to eliminations. Scoreboard tiebreaker 2, damage dealt. Scoreboard tiebreaker 3, eliminated. So that is how my information in the scoreboard will be positioned. Next, in the tools tab, this is just a little tip for people who want to build things on Fortnite Creative. You should always back up your islands. And for example, if your map gets deleted by a friend of yours or someone who joins your island, or you make a mistake, you always have a backup. Once it's backed up, you can always restore your island to your previous backup. I suggest you always back up your map at least every 20-15 minutes or so, because you never know what could go wrong. All right, so that is the game settings, you guys. Next, we're gonna get into building the box fight. All right, so first, go ahead, go to your My Island. If you look up, there will be 3 tabs. There is a creative play and My Island. You want to go to creative. And once you're in creative, you'll see other tabs. We're going to go to galleries. All right, so in here, this is actually where you see all the different pieces that we can use in Fortnite Creative. All right, so first we're going to make the foundations for the box fight. And what we're going to use is Structures Gallery Reflective Black. You can equip it in your quick bar, like so. Back out of that. And then you're going to place it somewhere around the map. Just like that. All right, so what we're gonna do is take this wall. Now, because it's water, we can't place down floors. Well, actually you can, but it's underneath the water and it's not gonna work out how you want. So what we'll be doing, place down these walls right underneath the water, sticks out just a little bit, and you can decide how big you want your box fight. My box fight is gonna be a 7x7 and 3 floors high. So right now I'm just setting up the foundations, place down the walls underneath the water, like so. After that, you can go back to the gallery, and what I'm going to do is take this floor. With the floor, I'm going to go back to the box fight foundations and place down the floor, just like this. Just like that. Next, what we're going to do is open up the galleries. We're going to select another gallery. The gallery we are going to use is Obstacle Course Wall Gallery. I'm going to equip it in the quick bar. And just like the first gallery, I'm going to place it. So next, I'm going to take this wall, go back to the box fight, and place the walls down on the corners of the box fight. My box fight is going to be 3 floors high, but you can always have your box fight 2 floors high. I know that's a common way people build their box fights. Next, I'm going to make the ceiling. All right, so next what we're going to do is select Art Deco Bank Gallery Blue, place it somewhere on the map. What we're going to do is take one of the floors and use it for the roof. Once you're done just like this, what we're going to do next is place down spawn pads. Back in galleries, we're going to go and slide over tabs to devices. In devices, we'll go to player spawns. Go ahead and click player spawns a few times. All right, so once you have player spawns, it should be in your traps options. Go ahead and place it around your map. Once you're done, it should look somewhat like this. All right, so next what we're going to do is set up all the spawn pads. Make sure all the spawn pad settings are correct for your box fight. Go into the settings for one of your player spawns. Visible during games, I'll keep this to no, so you don't see it when the game starts. Next, what you're going to have to do is change all the visible during game settings to no for all the spawn pads in your box fight. All right, so make sure you have all the settings changed in your box fight. All the spawn pad visible during game settings should be on no. Next, what we're gonna do is place down barriers, and the barriers will stop people from moving for a couple seconds. Then once the box fight is ready, the barriers will disable, and then you can do your box fight. And how to do this, we're gonna go back to devices, and in devices, we are gonna go to barrier. The barrier should also be in your trap inventory. With the barrier, go ahead and equip it. If you double jump, you can fly. We're gonna go to the ceiling and we're gonna place it just above the spawn pads. Go ahead and do that for all the player spawns. Once you're done, it should look like this. All right, so once you have all your barriers above your player spawns, we're gonna go into the settings for all the barriers. All right, so in the settings for the barriers, these are the settings we're gonna change. First option, barrier style. You can actually set this to wherever you like, but I'm gonna set it to blue force field. If I have it set to blue force field, this is how it looks. And all this setting is just so you can stylize your barrier. Next option that is really important, make sure you change this option. Zone shape, its current option is on box. I'm gonna change it to box hollow. Having this option allows people to spawn in the barrier. And if you have it set to box, when you spawn outside the barrier. So make sure all your barriers, zone shape settings is set to box hollow. Very, very important. The next option, we're gonna change barrier height. And this settings here, because my box fight dimensions is 3 squares high, this barrier settings height will be 3. Like so. Now if you're making a box fight 2 squares high, you can always have the height to 2 instead of 3. Then the final settings we'll have for all the barriers, we're gonna have disable when receiving from, set the channel 1. I'll explain later why it's set to channel 1. Once you have that, go ahead and confirm. And because it's set to box hollow, people will be able to spawn in the spawn pad. If you don't have box hollow set, you'll actually spawn outside the barrier, so you don't want that. Make sure you have zone shape, the box hollow. But that is the settings you'll have for your barrier. Next, go ahead and remember everything that you changed in this barrier. You're gonna go ahead and change all the other settings for the barriers. Yes, it's kind of tedious, but this is how people build things on Fortnite Creative. So all the people building hubs for Fortnite Creative, much respect to those people. Probably spending over 20 hours for those maps. So building a box fight is nothing compared to what they're doing. So go ahead and change all the barrier settings to what I just showed you. So once you're done, your barriers should look something like this. All right, so next what we're gonna do is actually place down a mutator. Go back to devices, mutator zone. The last time I used this mutator, when I made a box fight tutorial, I actually didn't explain what this mutator did. So this mutator here actually disables your weapon. You can't shoot or pickaxe till this device is disabled. But overall, I do think it makes your box fight just a little bit better. All right, so go ahead and select the mutator zone. All we need is 1. All right, so what I'm doing right now is figuring out where the middle of my box fight is. So there's a square in the middle of my box, and it's right here. And right here in the middle of my box fight, I'm gonna place a mutator on the ceiling, just like that. So with this mutator, right in the settings, because my box fight, I know it's a 7x7, easy math. I'm gonna set width to 7, depth also to 7. Also, my box fight is 3 squares high, so zone height is gonna be on 3. All right, so next options that will be changing. On default, you might be on basic options. You're gonna slide over to all options. We're gonna change this to channel 1. Disable when receiving from, set the channel 1. If you notice, it's the same settings as the barriers. And there you go. All right, so now we have a mutator in our box fight. We have all the barriers set. We have all the spawn pads set. We're gonna go ahead and test it out and see what happens. There is a mutator so you can't pickaxe, and there's also a barrier that stops you from passing it. So the barrier does not disable. What we need to do is make a type of function so that the barrier disables. Because this is outside of the box fight, I'm gonna go ahead and place down the functions at the very top of the box fight. I'm gonna branch out just like this with the floors. Next, what I'm going to do is place down a team settings and inventory. This is how you personalize different teams, personalize different players, and then drop the weapons onto this team settings and inventory. We'll actually do that later. First, we're going to set up a device so the barriers and the mutator get disabled. In devices, go ahead and select the timed objective, place it. We're going to go right into the settings. The settings we're going to change is start when round starts. We're going to turn this to yes. We're going to set time to 5 seconds. We're going to set urgency mode start time to 1. Then timer sound distance to whole map. Timer label text style, we're going to set this to extra large. Last option we'll change is when completed, transmit on channel 1. So that is the settings for the time objective. This is actually what is our timer in our box fight, and I have it set to 5 seconds. So once the 5 seconds is up, it'll send a signal to channel 1, which will disable the mutator and the barriers. Another thing you can do is add a hood message device, so you have a message when the timer is up. We're gonna go to hood message device, which is this guy here. Equip the hood message device. You can actually place it right next to the timed objective. All right, so with the hood message device, go into the settings. So what we're gonna do is have the hood message device send a message after the timer's up. The message can be whatever you want, but I'm gonna have the message say go. Next option, time from round start, we're gonna have this off. We don't want the message to pop up after 10 seconds when the round starts. Display time, I'm gonna have this set to 2 seconds, so it only shows up for 2 seconds. Text style, I'm gonna have text style to extra large so you can actually see it. Play sound is just a sound effect when the message pops up. I'm gonna set this to round start. Placement, I'm gonna have the message pop up on the top center of the screen. Last option, show when receiving from, I'll set this to channel 1. So this is also connected to the objective device. When the objective device is active, it affects the barriers and the mutator to disable those, but also shows the message from this hood message device. Next, what we're going to do is go back to the team settings and inventory. We're going to set the inventory for all the players in your box fight. We're going to go back to devices. We're going to slide over to weapons. Once you're in weapons, go ahead and choose your weapons you want in your box fight. I'm going to use purple pump, blue AR. Next, I'm gonna go to the other tab, consumables, and here I'll make sure to get all the materials I need and the ammo, also the heals for all the players in the box fight. Shotgun ammo, medium ammo for the AR, 1 slurpfish, 3 minis, 500 wood, and some stone. Once you're done, you're gonna have to go into your inventory, and it's a little bit different here on Fortnite Creative when you're building, so make sure you're on top of the team settings and inventory. Go back to my island. You're going to slide over to the player tab. Once you're in the player tab, you can actually see your inventory and go ahead and drop the things you want for all the players in your box fight. All the ammo you need. Then drop your weapons and your heals. Like that. So once you've dropped everything into the team settings and inventory, you are done setting up the inventory for all the players in your box fight. All right, so that is the base settings for the box fight. Hopefully your box fight works, but if you don't have your box fight working, here are 2 common issues why your box fight isn't working. All right, so first issue, I already went through this, but if you spawn and you spawn outside your barrier, it's because the barrier setting is actually not set to box hollow. So make sure you have zone shape to box hollow for all your barriers in your box fight. Next common issue, the barriers don't disable. Reason for that is most likely because that one barrier might not have disable when receiving from set to channel 1. If you can't shoot, it's because the mutator, make sure mutator setting disable when receiving from is set to channel 1. So make sure all the barrier settings have disable when receiving from set to channel 1, and make sure mutator setting is set to disable when receiving from channel 1. If that doesn't work, go back to your timed objective. Make sure all the settings are correct for the timed objective. Also have 1 completed, transmit on channel 1, so that when the objective is complete, it sends a signal to channel 1, then all the barriers and the mutator gets disabled. And that's that. All right, so once you have your box fight working, hopefully you got your box fight working. If you want, you can always make your map more appealing. I'm gonna show you guys a few options. All right, I'm gonna jump up, double jump. If I hold down the left analog stick, I start glowing. I can go through the floor. What I'm gonna do down here, I'm gonna place a wall, then place a floor. The floor is gonna be just in the middle of my box fight. I'm gonna go to devices. I'm gonna go to barrier. I'm gonna place a barrier on the floor down here. The settings I'm gonna change is barrier style. I'm gonna set this to nebula. Other option, zone shape. I'm gonna set this to box hollow. Barrier width and depth, I'm gonna have both of these set to 7 because the dimensions of my box fight is a 7x7. The barrier height, I'm gonna set this to 12. Just so it's above the top of my box fight. Confirm. Now you notice there is an actual barrier on the corners of the box fight. So the wall is invisible just behind the barrier, and I think it's pretty cool. So now that you know how it looks, you can always try different barrier styles, see what you like. All right, so next what I'm gonna do is go back to my island. I'm gonna set this to 12 a.m. Now the map has a really cool nighttime feel. All right, so how about a storm? I'm gonna show you guys how to make a storm for your box fight. If you want one, go ahead, go back to devices. We're gonna click the basic storm controller. Equip the basic storm controller, place it in the middle of your box fight like so. We're gonna go into the basic storm controller settings. All right, first settings, we're gonna change initial radius. We're gonna set this to 30 meters. End radius, we're gonna keep this at 0. But all up to you if you wanna have the radius, the end radius set to 5 meters, which is this. So the storm stops right at this line. But I'll have it at 0 meters. Wait time, I'll set it to 30 seconds. Resize time, I'll have it set to 2 minutes. Damage, I'll have it set to 15%. All right, guys, so these are just my settings for my storm. You can personalize these settings if you want and make your own storm. But if you wanna know exactly how to use the storm and what all the options do, I have a tutorial for that. The tutorial will be found in the description of this video. But once you have the settings, go ahead, start your match. So as you can see, the storm is bigger than my box fight. There's a 30-second timer. When the 30 seconds is up, the storm will start moving. So my storm is pretty much set up, so if the box fight takes too long, the round takes too long, the storm will start moving in, force people to actually fight each other. And radius set to 0 meters, it closes in, then becomes nothing. There you go, guys. That is how to build a box fight in season 3. I did my best to explain to you guys how to build a box fight. Hopefully everyone who watches this video gets their box fight working. If you do have issues building your box fight, always make sure you look through the settings. Make sure all the settings is correct for the barriers, mutator spawners. Make sure all the settings are correct for all the devices. Then you should have a cool box fight to play on. And that's it, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you like this tutorial and you like what I built. Subscribe for more videos like this. Use code JackjackHD in the item shop if you want to support me. Greatly appreciate it. Whoever supports me. Hashtag ad. Just saying it's a hashtag ad. But if you have any issues building your box fight, leave a comment down below. Also, if you got your box fight working, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Let me know that the box fight worked. Let me know if you like the box fight. In a future video, I'll be making a team box fight tutorial. So stay tuned for that. And that's it, you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
Wow.